Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself Suprit, and this is the AEW Dynamite review for October 14th, 2020. And I'm joined by Abishekh Aneja, aka Abby Maniac. What's up, Abby?
I'm absolutely fine, Suprit. How about you? How
I'm
did
good.
you find anniversary show of tonight?
It was a good show. It could have been better, but there were little mistakes here and there. What did you think about this show?
I also found it rather a good show. It was entertaining. There were some things which I saw which were, I guess, surprising, so to speak. So I was very much uh, entertained by that, and you can say, and now I am looking forward to what is about to come in the future for AEW.
So last week we had Jericho's 30th year anniversary, and this week we had Dynamite's 1 year anniversary. So one thing we all both can agree on is that Dynamite has been the best wrestling show on TV.
Uh, I am only watching Dynamite as of now, so I can probably say yes, I am watching what I am enjoying. Basically, I am not watching any other product at the moment. Previously, I was watching Impact Wrestling, NWA Power 2, and WWE little bit here and there. But right now, I, maybe I am not getting the time, or maybe it is the simple fact that I am not getting an inclination to watch other products. There isn't anything happening which is pushing me to watch their product. So I am content with watching AEW Dynamite, and I am enjoying what is happening on the show. So I can say that whatever is happening, overall entertainment aspect and what is happening on the show, it is great.
What do you score for Dynamite's 1 year anniversary?
The fact is that you can say there has been a little bit of a, you can say, a down with regards to the quality of the show when the crowds went away, and there were many problems with regards to travel and such, because there are Joshi wrestlers also, there are other wrestlers, and there were many controversies with regards to some wrestlers, the some UK wrestlers, the speaking out movement. So whatever happened, keeping consideration to that, if I would say that what was happening when the crowds were there and everything was going fine, the entertainment aspect was almost top notch, and I was enjoying everything what was happening, I would say that I would give it, you can say, an 8.5 out of 10, or 9 even, with regards to the first year of the show, and I am looking forward to the future of this brand, that what is up their sleeve, and I want that this alternative to wrestling, or to the mainstream wrestling, so to speak, the mainstream, or you can say the top promotion of the world, an alternative to that, this survives and thrives for a long, long time.
If we talk AEW overall, tag team division has been great. Singles division has been good. The only thing that is lacking is the women's division, and it really needs some help.
Yes, I agree. It does.
So let's get into this week's show.
Yes, absolutely.
So it was basically AEW's version of Clash of Champions. Every championship was on the line. We had FTR defending the AEW World Tag Team titles against Best Friends. MJF had a big announcement. Cody defended the TNT Championship against Orange Cassidy. Hikaru Shida defended the AEW Women's Championship against Big Swole. And in the main event, it was John Moxley defending the AEW World title against Lance Archer. But before that, if you are new to this channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. We here in Slamhub Wrestling cover all pro wrestling related stuff, including reviews for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and New Japan as well. So show begins and we quickly get into the tag team title match. This was a 60-minute time limit. It was given to this match. So do you know what explanation it was that it went 60 this week and not 20?
Uh, no, there was not any clear explanation. I guess it was just that this was a special show, so they gave it a go. I guess that
Uh,
it would they were applying the pay-per-view rules, so to speak.
so we get into this match. Wheeler and Chucky begin. Lock-up exchanges. FTR were working on the left arm of Chucky. Chucky with an arm drag on Harwood. Tag made to Trent as best friends work on Harwood. FTR with a double team on Trent. This gets a 2 count. FTR in control for the rest of the match until Trent makes a comeback with a desperate clothesline on Wheeler. Tag made to Harwood. He stops Trent from making the tag. Wheeler with a beautiful looking back suplex from the top for another 2 count. Wheeler goes for a splash. Trent gets the knees up. Tag made to Chucky. He sends FTR to the outside and hit a tope. Back in, Chucky hits a Falcon Arrow on Harwood for a 2 count. At one point, Chucky tried for a suplex near the ropes, but Tully Blanchard trips him.
Hmm.
Harwood with a roll up. This gets a 2 count. Best friends with double team moves on Wheeler. Um, so at one point, everyone was hitting DDTs on each other. Wheeler and Trent go to the outside and into the crowd where Kip Sabian was playing some arcade. Wheeler sends Trent into the arcade machine. Sabian was mad that his arcade machine got destroyed. So for that reason, he sends Penelope Ford to get Miro. Back to this match, FTR was looking for the Goodnight Express on Trent. Chucky with the save. Trent hits a DDT on Harwood. So final parts of the match saw Wheeler with a belt shot to Chucky and the pin, and that was it. It was a good match until they decided to do that angle with Sabian and Miro, and that's when I think this match went a little downhill. What did you think about it?
Uh, I I also thought that it was a good match, a TV level match, and the fact is that what they did with regards to Miro and Kip, they just transitioned the best friends to a new feud, so that is why they used that angle with the arcade machine or the arcade cabinet. So that maybe they came up with it, whoever came up with it, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't for some people. I guess it was a creative way with the thing that they are pitching Kip and Miro as gamers, so they did that. And so that was for that. And the fact is, it was a good match. I really enjoyed the match. Maybe if it were a pay-per-view, it could have been and even a better match, so to speak, because best friends are great workers. We have seen them perform, and FTR are of course great workers. They are 11 and 0 in 2020. That is their record in AEW, and best friends were 17 and 6. That was their record in AEW. And with regards to the match, FTR applied the isolation technique on Trent. Trent tried to make a comeback in between, but uh, he was unable to. get to his partner. That was the problem because FTR are great in tag team technique, tag team wrestling. It was a competitive match, back and forth. There was never, I guess, a time and or I should say an extended one where a team was at an advantage or exerting their dominance over the other. And after Trent crashed into Penelope and Kip's arcade cabinet, I thought that FTR would leave Trent and just take the count out win. But to my surprise, they didn't. They wanted a clear winner, no questions asked. And the it was a very creative ending to the said match that involved a belt shot by Cash Wheeler, whilst Rick Knox ducked with the fear of getting clogged in the head, which sealed the deal for FTR. FTR won via pinfall. We also, it was our mutual prediction that FTR won't be dropping the straps anytime soon, but we will see.
So post match, Miro attacks best friends. Sabian joins him and they lay out best friends. So Sabian and Miro had a match next. They're facing Lee Johnson and Sean Maluta. It was a squash match. Miro beating up Maluta and Johnson all around the ring. Tag made to Sabian hits a big splash. Tag back to Miro. He locks in the game over on Johnson, and that was it. And we had a small post-match promo. Sabian was still mad that his arcade set got destroyed. Miro talked some shit in Bulgaria. He calls out the good friends, quote unquote good friends, for breaking his shit, and he just said game over. So, any special tippany on this match and their upcoming feud with best friends?
Any special Tiffany? It's basically the fact that uh, they explained why Miro was there. That is good because the fact is that many a times with regards to storylines and with regards to feuds the logic is not there, so basically giving a logic that they broke their arcade machine, so that is why he was avenging that thing. So it is good and it is basic, it's good. And with regards to Miro, it was utter destruction, and he should have been booked and showcased this way in his debut match. We said it outright in our one of our previous reviews. It seems that it has gone to the ears of the officials at Jacksonville because, and also I guess that Miro channeled his anger and frustration of what is happening to his wife via the hands of Nia Jax on WWE TV. Probably getting smashed on the announcer's table again and again. So probably that could have been one of the more catalysts of his destruction today.
Another interesting fact. So last year, Sean Moluta was jobbing to Cameron Grimes on NXT this same exact time last year, and
Hmm.
this year is jobbing on Dynamite. Sean Moluta.
Hmm. Uh, I guess he would get a big break sometime if he is that talented and he if he is that good. So yes, it was his debut, I guess, here, and if he has what it takes, in the words of Triple H, so he would do good here in AEW.
So backstage, we see Archer and Moxley brawling. Archer punches some dude in the face. Archer lays out Moxley as officials get rid of Archer. Up next was MJF. He makes his entrance to the ring. So he had his big announcement that he promised us. He mocks the fans, saying that he has accomplished a lot in 1 year than most have accomplished in their entire lives. He said he's not there to just be at the top, but stay at the top. He reminds us about his big announcement. He puts over Chris Jericho and calls him out. Jericho comes out with the inner circle. So all of them were wearing the jacket that MJF had given them. Sammy also had a jacket, but he didn't wear it as it was double XL. MJF, MJF makes fun of the crowd for their horrible singing of Judas. That's facts. M- MJF puts over Jericho's body and said he's a generic freak, and also praised how good his hair looked. He asked Jericho if he can touch Jericho's hair. Jericho allowed him and then said to cut his shit. Jericho asked about the announcement. MJF responds and said both of them are draws, and if Jericho is the demo god, he is the ratings ruler. Crowd boos for that one. He said ever since AEW started, they have never gotten physical. MJF for some reason mentions Animal Planet. Jericho stops him and says he hates Animal Planet. MJF compares both of them to piranhas and says you will never see two piranhas eating each other because they have mutual respect. He said both of them are predators, but but their prey is adapting. He said they are being great separate, but it's time they work together. MJF struggled a bit, but he finally said that he may join the inner circle. Jericho questions if he's sure about that. Ortiz interrupts and said that MJF is trying to kiss Jericho's ass and said that they don't want him in the inner circle. Jericho responded that they need some time to think about it. But before that, next week, why not both of them go one on one for a steak dinner? MJF accepts, and that was it. It was a very nice segment, and I'm very excited for late dinner de menor. That's what Excalibur called it.
I too agree with that. It was a very entertaining segment, and what announcement and what we were thinking about that he would be joining the inner circle, or w- what would be happening now. It is now in fruition, and now it is on the go. So we are. I am very interested now. How it manifests. So because now the thing is that the other members of the inner circle are not in, uh, you can say, in acceptance of MJF being a part of their faction. We don't know about Jake Hager because he doesn't speak that much. But Jericho is willing to give MJF a chance. He maybe is very much willing to have MJF, a great competitor in the ring, a great worker, as a part of his faction. And MJF, uh, with regards to what he said, that his the praise are adapting, it is a direct shot at Jericho losing to Orange Cassidy, and that is true for some point. And now Jericho would be thinking that having another member in the inner circle would help his career also, and getting some more wins and being on the winning track moving forward. So it is a very, you can say, an attractive offer, so to speak, on the part of Jericho too, and also to MJF. MJF wants, he thinks that being a part of the group can help his career also. So it is a great, you can say, a win-win situation. So we have to see how it manifests in the future. And next week's late dinner demo dinner, however it was called. So it would be an interesting, entertaining segment having two people who are great on the microphone. going all in.
Also, there is story for them having a steak dinner because last week Jericho lost his championship in some steakhouse.
Uh, really?
Don't you
Uh,
remember that whole Jericho losing his championship somewhere?
oh, all right, all right. Oh my God. No, I forgot about it. Okay, okay, okay. After winning, yes, yes. And then they were able to get it. All right, all right. That is a great, uh, that is a great dynamic to this. I like it. I like it. Now I am even more excited to watch this. Okay.
So next we had Tony Schiavone. He was interviewing Dr. Britt Baker.
Was he really interviewing?
I'm gonna get to that. So both were getting a massage in some parlor somewhere.
That looks shady. A shady parlor.
So Reba was out there to explain the rules of a role model. Baker realizes that Shivani was naked and screams, I laughed. We see Baker waxing Shivani's chest. Both were sitting on some chair and looks like Shivani didn't wear his robe properly. Baker told him to cover his inner Shivani. Baker said she is putting the entire women's division on notice and also she will be back in action next week. That's it.
Entertaining segment. That's it.
You know what I realized? This
Mhm.
Shivani Dr. Britt Baker dynamic is very similar to Miss Elizabeth and who else? Who was the famer WWF on a comment, sorry, interviewer back?
Gene Oakland.
Yes, yes, yes. Same vibe, same vibe.
Mhm. All right. I have not seen their promos or segments in so in that you can say dynamic. So I cannot
Basically,
possibly comment on that.
basically, Gene Okerlund had a crush on Elizabeth.
All right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the TNT Championship match.
Yes. Cody, the new champion, against Orange Cassidy. Pockets.
Oh, come on.
Okay, only Orange Cassidy.
So Darby
And
Allin was gone.
yes, yes, I was saying the same thing. Please, please continue.
So Darby Allin was seeing this match from the crowd.
Yeah.
Cody is blonde again. I don't know why.
I think that he was uh, paying homage to his father as his father had a birthday recently, so
Oh.
it could very well be.
So match begins. Cody was hitting the ropes trying to get a lockup, but Cassidy wasn't interested. Cassidy with hands in the pocket. Cody with a shove, and the glasses are off. We get a serious Cassidy now as we get a lockup. Commentators played it off as a huge deal. Cody got the better of Cassidy, grounding him to the mat. Cassidy tried to out wrestle Cody and scored a bunch of pinfalls. Both men wrestled a very technical based style until Cody got in control. Cassidy tried for the comeback. Cody counters the swinging DDT into a suplex. Cassidy with the lazy kicks to the shin. Cody with a punch to the face. It looks like there was an involvement of the Dark Order which I missed. Did you catch it?
Dark Order, yes, yes, I did. Uh, it was that basically they were in the crowd, the members, except Brody Lee and John Silver. So uh, Cody was thrown in the crowd, and they and the referee saw the Dark Order members. So he tried to intervene that no member of the Dark Order even touches or even intervenes in the proceedings of the match. So As he was doing that, out comes from the other side of the arena John Silver,
The
and
legend.
he picks, yes, he picks up the TNT World Championship, and he tried to do some shit, and I don't know what, but the fact is that he came straight to Cody, and he was, what the fuck was he thinking? I didn't know. The thing is, then referee saw him, and he just ejected all of them backstage. That was the thing that happened, basically.
So yes, back in the ring, Cassidy blocks the crossroads and gets a roll up for the two. We see Cody targeting one of the legs of Cody after sending it into the post. Cody with the double underhook. Cassidy just drops and crawls away. Cody hits a reverse superplex for a 2 count. Um, Cassidy with the comeback. He hits a diving DDT and a Michinoku driver for a 2 count. Mid-match, they say Darby Allin will be challenging for the TNT Championship at Full Gear and talk about giving away your outcome. Um, Cody with the figure four. Cassidy tried to reverse it several times, but Cody denied. Cassidy somehow makes the ropes. Both men on the apron. Cassidy hits beach break. Back in, Cassidy tried for the pin. Cody with a surprise roll up but gets a 2 count. Both men reversing each other moves. Orange with the swing DDT and the beach break gets a near fall. We get a 1 minute warning from the announcer. Cassidy was looking for the orange punch but favored his injured leg. Cassidy gets a roll up pin but gets a 2.5 as they went to a draw. Decent match. The last 3 4 minutes was great. And what did you think about this match?
Yeah, I also agree with that. That it was a decent match. It was a good match, in my opinion. At the fact that the ending to the match was a draw. With regards to that, we were thinking a clear winner. I was going with Cody. You had Orange Cassidy, and now with Darby Allin in this whole dynamic, we have to see that what happens. And now afterwards, we also got the announcement that we have the rematch, Cody Rhodes versus Orange Cassidy in 2 weeks
Is
on
that a good
Dynamite.
thing? Is that a good thing considering the direction they are going with Darby Allen at Full Gear?
I don't know what they are basically now thinking now. But basically, it could be that what we were thinking right now, that it now they could go that way. That at Full Gear there would be a established heel and an established baby face. So we would be pushing for the baby face, or probably. So it could be that Darby Allin would win the championship, but in probably the second attempt, it could be not in the first attempt. It could be a chance. But if they are also if Darby Allin wins in the first attempt, then also it is not a problem.
And about Darby Allen, he is a great challenger for Cody. They got some history. But
Yes.
what happens to this Darby Allen Brian Cage feud? Do they put it in the back burner or they end this feud before Full Gear?
They would put it in the back burner, I suppose. And do they even give that much of a fuck about Brian Cage, to be quite honest, and the FTW championship? Now they are thinking about Darby Allin as the contender for the TNT championship. So if it is logical, so then it would also involve Brian Cage, as you said. I don't know. It would be in the back burner, or you would involve many people in this dynamic. It would have Orange Cassidy, it would have Cody, it would have uh, Darby Allin, it would have Brian Cage also. It it would become a clusterfuck of sorts.
Maybe we get Orange Cassidy instead, feuding with Brian Cage while Darby handles Cody.
It could very well be. It could very well be. Then again, you would be crowning Orange Cassidy as the FTW champion, or it would be without the championship at stake.
Mostly without the championship at stake.
Hmm. Hmm. Could be. Could be. It is a very uh, clusterfuck kind of a situation because they shouldn't have just put Darby Allen and just you can say just put him in this TNT championship picture just for the sake of it that we have a pay-per-view and we need a challenger. So why not Darby Allin, are one of our biggest superstars? Eve, because he is involved in a feud with the likes of Brian Cage, Team Taz, whatever, and Team Taz also has an offer with Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs is also there. So it 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 you can say it becomes very complex. It becomes complex. So how would you deal with the booking of the whole situation at this point? Because you could have gone with any other person who is capable or who has the legitimacy of gunning for the championship, but you are going with Darby Allin, who was involved in a feud, basically. So it is, I would now basically say that it is a bad booking, or maybe it is lazy booking on the part of the whole team of AEW.
Or at this point, Brian Cage has to get involved so that this entire story makes sense.
Yes, yes, absolutely. He should. He should, or else it would just say that where is Brian Cage? Oh, he's sitting at home, or he is at catering, minding his own business, while Darby Allin is getting a title shot for a legit championship, which is on TV, which is being defended on television almost every other week. And now, with regards to the match, it was shown that Cody is bruised and battered from last week's dog collar match against Brody Lee, wearing the kinesio tape. Cody with the changed hairstyle, the blonde. We have just covered it, that possibly giving homage to his dad on the occasion of his birthday. And Cassidy went for a technical approach to take it to the champion in the initial part of the match. Cody was selling his injuries from the dog collar match in this match, even whilst performing the maneuvers. It was specifically in the neck region where he was wearing the tape, and Cassidy was using mind games and psychological warfare to get under the skin of Cody, as Cody's temper is well known to the audience worldwide. And then we saw glimpses of Cody's shadow side. That is, he was doing push ups, showing off his frustration on his face, wrapping the legs across the ring post and attacking them. His coach, the enforcer Arn Anderson, wasn't having none of it. Absolutely none of it. And one point which amused me a little, I was shocked to see no bleeding after Cody got posted head first when he was thinking to attack Cassidy via it. He got posted. Uh, I didn't see any blood, so I was a little bit, you can say, sad that why isn't there blood? We want more blood. And then Cassidy went for a relentless series of offense to the head via the diving DDT and the Michinoku driver, which you have already covered. Great presence of mind by Orange Cassidy. Cody was attacking Cassidy's knees and he put the exclamation point on it via the figure four leg lock. At least, he tried to. And the ending of the match was fantastic with the draw. And there is the intrigue. The near falls in the ending minutes had me on the edge of my seat. Great stuff.
So we had Lance Archer and Jake Roberts being interviewed. Before Roberts could say something, Moxley attacks Archer. They brawl again as officials came out to separate them again. Matt Hardy is being interviewed near ringside. His kids and his wife were along with him. He talks
Hmm.
about the 1 year anniversary of Dynamite. He then announces that he's medically clear to compete. On the screen, we see someone in a hoodie burning pictures of Matt Hardy. It's none other than Sammy Guevara. He was the one who attacked Matt. He said he will never stop until he sends Matt Hardy home for good. So it looks like the Hardy Guevara feud continues. Don't don't know if it's a wise decision or not, but I think their mentality is that they have to end this feud properly.
Hmm. Possibly that could be the thinking. When I saw the hoodie and the guy, I thought it is EC3.
Yeah, I
I
also
thought
thought
it
it
is.
was yeah.
Yes, you were saying.
Yeah, I also thought it was someone big, someone debuting or something.
Hmm. But they went with Sammy Guevara. Okay, so they have to now end this feud, this obsession with regards to Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy. Okay, you want to do that, go for it, because the history of that basically isn't very favorable. So because whenever they fought, it had you can say a stop point or a disturbance or something like that. So it didn't get to a very an exclamation point or a very favorable position. So maybe this would be a great, you can say, a last ditch effort with regards to their feud, and I hope that it gets to the point that which they are thinking or their vision is for this feud. It gets to that point, or else if this attempt doesn't make it, then they should definitely not go that way.
So in the ring, we see Shivani picking tag team names for a four-way match next week, where the winner gets FTR at Full Gear. Was it a number one contender or is it's a plain and simple four-way next week?
It is a four-way for the number one contendership for the tag team titles at
Yes.
Full Gear.
So the teams were Private Party, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, Butcher and Blade, and of course the Young Bucks. Just like you, Shivani was mad at the Bucks. So all four teams entered the ring. Bucks said they are not here to super kick Shivani, but instead they super kicked Reynolds and Blade, I believe. So after that, a brawl broke out. The Bucks and Private Party stood tall. Both teams shake hands until the Bucks super kicked Private Party, and that was it. So it has to be the Young Bucks, right?
Yes.
That they are winning the four-way next week, unless let's say a team like Silver and Reynolds win, and I believe they are a perfect choice to win if the Bucks are not winning, because they are a somewhat of a babyface team in the community right now. So,
Mhm.
who do you think is winning next week, Bucks or someone else?
If they go with someone else, uh, except the Young Bucks, then it would be a three-way at Full Gear. It won't be a singles one-on-one tag team traditional match. So if they, the obvious choice, yes, absolutely Young Bucks. But if they are going with any other team, that is Private Party or Butcher and Blade or Reynolds and Silver of the Dark Order, then it would be most possibly, most probably a three-way at Full Gear for the tag team championship.
How exactly a three-way? I didn't get that one.
Three-way FTR versus the Young Bucks and versus any of the other three teams. Young Bucks would cause some chaos and they would insert themselves in that match. They would get themselves inserted in that match.
Okay. So you don't think they are blowing off this FTR Young Bucks match this soon?
Uh, possibly, possibly they are stretching that as far as they can. So it could be a point. Yeah, it could be, or if they are just giving it that now it is the time, then they are giving it. It's just done. No, let's have it.
We get to the AEW Women's Championship match. Um, Hikaru Shida versus Big Swole. This went 9 minutes. A lot of exchanges and reversals early on. Action went to the outside. Shida with a huge knee lift. Shida had Swole on the barricades, and then she did her chair spot, hitting a knee drop. Shida hits a suplex for a two. She hits a Samoan drop for another two count. Both women on the second rope. Swole went for a sunset bomb, but it looked like she botched it. Swole sends Shida into the apron. Swole hits two cutters, one on the stage and one in the ring for a two count. Swole went for dirty dancing. Shida with a German instead, and she hits a Falcon Arrow for a two count. Shida misses the running knee. Swole hits dirty dancing for a two count. But Shida got the legs on the ropes, and after that, Shida with several knee strikes, and finally she got the running knee strike, and that was it. A okay match, and that's all I can say. What did you think about it?
And an okay thing, that is what we can say with regards to the women's division of AEW. This 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 was just there. Basically, it wasn't very good. Basically, and or giving Big Swole the championship match, I was not very much in favor of that. But we have discussed that in the previous review.
Was
But it
she
is
was,
what it.
was she ranked
Yes,
number one?
she was ranked number two, I guess.
Then it was a illogical booking.
She was ranked number two previous week. I don't know about this week if she were ranked above after defeating Serena Deeb at AEW Dynamite. So it could very well be. So that is what it is. Last week's match was not a very good, you can say, an example of what a challenger to your world championship of the women's division should be fighting against. But that is just my take regarding the situation. So Big Swole won against Britt Baker at All Out in a cinematic match. Big Swole won against Serena Deeb last week on AEW Jericho 30. In this match, technical chain wrestling exchange was there in the initial part. There was an awkward exchange of shoulder tackles, running strikes, just like last week, between the two, which was, I guess, the commentator said, a part of the narrative that Shida was trying to match Swole in the power and strength department. She was trying that. The champion was trying that. and it was a competitive match. However, it was back and forth action. Nyla Rose was scouting from the crowd, and I there was a thing with regards to Shida that I even saw Shida prematurely ending her submission lock, which she applied. It was it was kind of a camel clutch sort of a submission log. She just gave it up prematurely, even when Swole wasn't in a favorable position. So, I mean, what is the legitimacy then of this lady's submission maneuvers then? So, what is the point of submission maneuvers if you are doing shit like that?
I
That
think
you are,
I think it
yes.
would be a scenario where she realized that there is not a lot of time given to their match, and they wanted to get their spots done. They didn't think about the psychology of the match.
So then it is, you can say the blame should be on the part of the producers and of AEW and the officials of AEW, that you are not giving a fuck about your world champion of the women's division, that you are not giving them enough time to build the match and to get the fans invested in the match, that you are not giving the champion and the basics of the match, that is the submission maneuvers and the other stuff which are essential and the part and parcel of the match, getting the said time and space so that it gets to the viewer that it is real, it is a fight, they are wrestling for a prize, and it is not like they are just there for the sake of it. It just looks bad. It just looks bad. It just looks bad that the wrestlers or that they were just concerned about those spots, that the knee lift spot from the chair and your uh, special spot, the dirty dancing and whatever, but you do not give a fuck about your submission maneuvers and the basics of wrestling. Give them time, or else you shouldn't have booked them on your card in the midst of the week via social media.
Another thing is that I have to say this: there is no credible challenger for Shida right now except Nyla Rose, and it looks like they are about to, I think, put the title back on Nyla Rose at Full Gear.
If they do that, I have no problem, because and I agree with that point. There is no other. They had Thunder Rosa. If they use her, they have Serena Deeb. If they use her in that position, they have Nyla Rose. They have Britt Baker. Other than them, I don't think there is anybody. Evil
I,
Ace and the Diamante. No, thank you.
they haven't built them up.
No, and it was quite obvious when they had the match against Thunder Rosa that how their thinking was there, how their mind was working, that I would not sell for this woman, that I do not care about the product, I do not care about wrestling, I only care about myself, and I would not give that. So if this person is of that, you can say, mindset, then they need to grow and understand, and you would not be giving the championship right now.
So we get a small video package for the feud that is going on between Sean Spears and Scorpio Sky. Um,
This
So
was the first time I got to know of this quote unquote feud.
it was, I think it started from that uh, small interaction that Spears and Sky had. Then they talked about the match. What was that?
It happened before when SCU and FTR had the match.
Yeah, and also the 1 hour Dynamite special where Spears faced Matt Sydal.
All right.
So okay, it's a big positive that they are getting TV time on Dynamite and not on Dark.
Yes, it absolutely is, and I expect that if they are airing their vignette and their program, they should explain this program a little bit more, uh, better, I should say, whenever they are being showcased on television. That is for the commentators, and they would most possibly be given screen time on Dynamite. That's great. That would be great.
Main event AEW World Championship match John Moxley versus Lance Archer. Eddie Kingston along with the Lucha Bros was on commentary.
This
Um,
was this was booked on now a no disqualification match, and this information was given in the midst of the women's match.
so Lance Archer had a special entrance. There was a glass setup on the entrance tunnel, and Archer threw some dude through it. And I was disappointed that they changed Lance Archer's theme song.
All right. Yes, I also agree with that sentiment.
So the match, yeah, like you said, it was made no DQ after what all happened earlier in the night. So Moxley made his entrance, charges the ring. Moxley from the get-go hits the paradigm shift and only gets a 2 count. Moxley tried for a second one, but Archer pushes him to the outside. They brawl for a while and back in. Moxley hits a clothesline. Archer doesn't go down. Moxley with another, but Archer hits him with a pounce. Archer hits a cannonball to the outside. Archer sets up two tables near ringside. Moxley tried to fight back, knocks down Archer with a clothesline. Moxley sets up two chairs in the ring. Moxley had Archer on his shoulders. Archer escapes and chokeslams Moxley through the chairs. This gets a 2 count. Archer tried to use the chair on Moxley. Moxley got a knee bar. Archer reached for the ropes and Roberts pulls him out. Uh, Moxley went for a dive, but Archer throws a trash can in his face. Both men on the apron. Archer was looking for the paradigm shift. Moxley with a low blow. He hits the paradigm shift through the set of table, and this was the exact same spot we saw at Wrestle Kingdom this year.
Hmm. Yes.
Moxley hits another paradigm shift for a near fall. Moxley went for a sleeper. Archer escapes, hits a DDT, followed by the blackout. He went for the pin, only for Moxley to counter with a crucifix and get the win. And that was it. Really, really good match. Archer came out super strong in defeat, but I still think they should have put the belt on him. But I get it that there are bigger plans regarding the world title picture. But what did you think about this match and the outcome?
I also agree with that sentiment that Lance Archer. I was also of the opinion that Lance Archer should have won this match. But yes, what now they are thinking about, it is intriguing, it is interesting. That I think that he is still in the picture, and the other people who are involved, they are also still in the picture. So it is making it very much fun with regards to the world title picture, and who knows that Lance Archer would be the world champion in the near future. And that was the take. And with regards to the match, we saw Archer dominating the action, and as you said, that Archer looked super strong. I was very happy with that because Archer needed that. Archer is a great competitor. We have seen him, and we know his uh, can say talent, and he wasn't given a chance, you can say, or so to speak, on AW television. So now with all chains off, he was given a chance, and he took full uh, chance over the championship match. And we saw that in the initial part that he was dominating the action even after eating the paradigm shift or the death rider in the start of the bout, and stiff back and forth action brawling, he withstood that and he still was dominating the action. And back after the commercial break, Moxley gained control of the match, and we saw stiff strikes and also weapons being used. And there was a great spot with the choke slam through the chairs, which turned the tide momentarily for Archer. But when the trash can to the face of Moxley happened, that certainly did turn the tide for him when he got out of the knee bar. And the spot with regards to the paradigm shift and the death rider from the apron through the two tables stacked adjacent to one another was insane. A receipt of sorts of what happened in Japan. And then it was Archer with the DDT. It was an homage to his manager, Jake the Snake Roberts, then a buckle chokeslam, then an assisted top rope blackout to John Moxley, 1 2 kick out. Then Moxley rolls up in a crucifix attempt, 1 2 3, and that's done. I was very much disappointed that Moxley just slithered through with a victory, fucking snake. But the fact is that yes, Archer's time would come sooner rather than later. And I don't know if Moxley and Archer will butt heads in the near future, but it seems that now you have to go with the post match, man. The post match, what happened?
So post match, Archer attacked Moxley. Lucha Bros came out. Phoenix swings the chair at Archer, who no sold it. Archer gets out, and Kingston and Lucha Bros help up Moxley only to attack Moxley. So Kingston had Moxley in a sleeper as the show went off the air. I forgot that they also Kingston was cutting some promo as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, that was the entire thing.
So thing is that I don't know if Moxley and Archer will butt heads in the near future, but it seems like Eddie Kingston and Archer may. It seems, and Eddie choking out John Moxley makes it even more interesting, and it was basically on the cards. We were expecting that it would be happening, and now it is happening in a long, stretched, complex feud with multiple variables involved. And I like that. Now you have Pentagon Junior and Ray Phoenix who are competing in a tournament next week, which is for the number one contendership for the World Championship. Then you have Eddie Kingston, who also wants the World Championship, and he says that he wasn't eliminated from the Casino Battle Royal from Lance Archer. And now Lance Archer just lost via a roll up, not a clear pinfall victory, and he just kicked John Moxley out of his boots at the end of the bout. So he also has something with regards to Eddie Kingston when there was a confrontation. Jake the Snake Roberts just, you can say, retreated and he consoled. Lance Archer with regards to not fight right now, fight another day with Eddie Kingston. So there are a lot of variables involved in the world title picture, so it makes it interesting that what happens next with John Moxley and the world championship. So it is great stuff.
Don't forget about the two guys who could possibly go on to win the tournament.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page, they are also here, and they are also gunning for the world championship. So they are also in this title picture in some way. So that also is very well interesting that there are many variables. There are so many people who are gunning for the championship in some shape or form. Interesting.
So that was Dynamite.
Yes, that was Dynamite anniversary show, 10th of October, sorry, 14th of October 2020.
So before we go, where can these guys find you?
Guys, you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Abimaniac, ABBYMANIAC, and I work with an independent wrestling promotion in India called Wrestle Square. I work with them as a commentator and as an on-air authority figure. So you can follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestle Square, and you can also subscribe to their YouTube channel at Wrestle Square.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamhubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. Our podcast and reviews are mainly audio based, and if you don't want your YouTube app running for that, then you can catch Slamhub Wrestling on Anchor and Spotify as well. So this was the AEW Dynamite review, and we'll see you guys next time.